And record. Everybody, we are streaming live on Facebook, and it is always my favorite time of the week where I get to interview an amazing nonprofit that is making a huge difference here in the Austin area and beyond. And today I'm super excited to introduce myself. Ryan Lanier, Organizing for Good, located here in Austin, Texas. And today I'm excited to be talking with Mary Ellen Isaacs, Executive Director of Literacy First. Woo, we're starting off great. There's a crazy storm of brewing, and it's just all up here. So anyway, so welcome. Please introduce yourself and all about Literacy First.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate the shout outs for all the nonprofit work in the community. I'm Mary Ellen Isaacs. Whoops, I'm just getting a message. Let me just get rid of that. Sorry about that. I'm Mary Ellen Isaacs, and I am the director of Literacy First. We are an organization primarily focused in Central Texas that provides intensive one-to-one early literacy tutoring to over 1,000 students in Central Texas schools, particularly working in underserved schools. And our mission is to ensure that all students become strong readers by 3rd grade. And the reason that's important is you may have heard the phrase, children learn how to read so they can then read to learn. So there's a period in those early elementary years that is so critical for students really picking up those foundational skills in how to read. And then when we can ensure that they do that by 3rd grade, then they are set up for success because the curriculum shifts and there's less emphasis on learning how to read and much more emphasis from then on, obviously, on using reading as a tool in language arts, in science, and social studies, and everything. So literacy is so foundational to success in school and success in life. And 3rd grade is kind of a big benchmark year where there is that shift. And so we are focusing on those early years for that reason, but also because we know that we can prevent future learning and reading difficulties if we intervene early. And the reason that this is such a big need in our community really stems from what we call at Literacy First, and we certainly didn't coin this, others have talked about the opportunity gap, that for a lot of students in our community, there isn't really a level playing field when they start school. Many students just haven't had the opportunity for high quality early childhood experiences. They maybe don't have the luxury of having a library at home, a bookshelf full of books. They often have not had the same kinds of learning opportunities when they start kindergarten. And we have a very rigorous curriculum in reading in the state of Texas, and it takes off really fast. So the fact that some kids come in with less opportunity to have gained some foundational skills, the curriculum doesn't wait for them. And so there is this gap and that is really the value add that we bring to our partner schools, is that we can leverage full-time tutors through our program that we assign to schools that then partner with the school in addressing the need for support in those foundational skills. So for example, at kindergarten, we're making sure that kids really understand letter sounds, that they understand that words are made up of sounds and that the sounds are represented by letters. And we move into what you probably recognize as phonics instruction and understanding how to decode words, how to recognize words, and then how to put that all together and orchestrate that into reading fluently. And so that's what we do. Our tutors, we partner with districts in 2 ways. For 26 years, we have been working with AmeriCorps, which is a national service organization where people do a year of service. And we are able to engage full-time tutors. They can be any age. They're typically recent college grads or maybe taking a gap year. But now we are really working hard to engage some parents from our school communities, other adults from our school communities as tutors. And we have our first retiree as a tutor. So you can be any age. And we also partner with districts where they have hired the tutors, paraprofessionals, and then we teach them how to do the program. So in these two ways, we in both of these situations, we provide intensive training at the beginning of the year, and then my staff is on site at the schools every week to work one-to-one with the tutors. So they end up getting about 50 to 70 hours of instruction in literacy intervention. I'm a former reading specialist myself, as are most of my staff, and we have developed a lesson framework that really targets those foundational skills and that we can train people pretty quickly to be effective in intervening and really closing that gap. And then another hallmark of our work is that we are really data driven. And so we know that we pull kids for 30 minutes a day. We see the kids every day until they catch up, and then we can pick up the next child. And so in that, pulling those kids for 30 minutes as a former teacher, it's important to me that we're accountable back to that teacher, that we're doing something really important with those kids. And so we monitor their progress every week and we share that with the school. And so we know this works. We've been studied pretty rigorously by external evaluations as well as using our own data. And we know that more than 80% of the kids will really accelerate their reading skills. More than half of them completely catch up in a year. And we know that if we can get them up to grade level in first or second grade, then they go on to pass the STAR at the same level as their peers who started school without any need for intervention. And so it's my passion and the passion of my staff. I have an amazing staff, and we have amazing tutors. They are so committed to their kids, and they take on this lesson framework and they do amazing work every day.
The goosebumps have already started.
Good.
Just all the things you said about how literacy is such a foundational, like when you just don't have it, it really can set you off on a terrible path. But when you do, and wow, I'm already just like, wow, this is so incredible. And I love that you have set up a model that is very empowering on a broad level, yet one-on-one impactful with each child.
Yeah, it's
so good.
You know, I do feel like I have the best job in the world for that reason, Ryan. It's so exciting to work with the tutors, to work with teachers who have my undying respect, especially this year.
Especially this year.
Educators have worked so hard, and to be able, as a former educator, to provide that support to the teachers and then to watch the kids blossom. And then many of our tutors go on to become teachers. And we know that the ones that choose that typically stay in the profession. You know, there's a lot of turnover in the profession right now, but I think our tutors go into the experience with their eyes wide open because they've done this work for 1 or 2 or 3 years with us, and then take that with them into the classroom. So that's been a really exciting thing as well.
So good, so good. And I love how you said that you're so data driven. That people love that. They love data, and then that also gives you lots of legs when you want to go big.
Yes.
I had a very fascinating conversation last week with Circle Up, where they are fighting for actual policy change to get women more postpartum coverage through Medicaid. And when you want to go to that level, you need that data. So
yes, thank you. That's been really important to us. And it's important to our partners, and they really appreciate that. And we have actually seen that the way in which we share the data back to the schools has had a systemic impact at that campus in terms of,
Mhm.
we pull the teachers, the reading specialists, the tutors together 3 times a year and go through the graphs of every student, and kind of they line that up with other data that they have. And so it's a true partnership where we really want to add value to what the schools are already doing.
Mhm, mhm. Did I miss it at the beginning? How many schools are you
Oh,
in?
yeah.
Percentage, counties? I think I
Yeah,
missed that.
sure. So we, this coming year, we will be in 17 AISD schools. We will be in all 9 Del Valley elementary schools and 3 Elgin elementary schools.
Mhm.
And we are working with 2 charter districts, Austin Achieve and Wayside schools. And so we'll have a total of, I didn't do the math, but I think it's about 32 or 33 campuses that we will serve in the coming year. And that will be about 2,400 kids. So that's about a 30% increase over our current year. And we have just completed an ambitious strategic plan. We really want to get to at least 3,500 kids by 2023. And I think we may even surpass that. So we are really working on ways that we can expand this model and other ways that we can work with districts, such as training their staff, as well as through our partnership with AmeriCorps, which we will continue, but that isn't something where we can just get an infinite number of slots. So we are finding other ways that we can maximize our potential.
I don't know if it's just an emotional week for me today, but just hearing all of the impact you're making on so many children is just incredible. And I've spoken to many nonprofits where you're doing this in the school, right? Austin Kids Can, Girl Start, Academy 4, like you are giving gifts that these kids just don't have. And you're making you're setting them on such an incredible path. And I love it so much. So now before I start blubbering right now, let's talk about COVID and how that affected everything, both the good and the bad. We've established that not everything was bad. So what were the challenges and what have been the lessons that maybe you're going to keep going forward with?
Yeah. Oh gosh, we could talk for a whole hour just about that.
I know, right?
When schools closed in March, I think we were all, sort of like, whoa, new reality.
What
does this mean? And, for the grades that we work with, kinder, first, and second, at that point in time, before the pandemic, schools weren't in the habit of providing iPads or Chromebooks to the littles, to take in first and second. So when schools closed in March, the kids that we were working with, we could only connect with them. So their tutoring was really interrupted because we could only connect with them if their family had a device, and through the teacher, or maybe through cell phone if the teacher could set something up. And we had a lot of parents, just really dedicated that were doing whatever they could to keep our work going. Huge shout out to my staff because they are amazing and they pivoted on a dime, as did all educators, to figure out how to work in this virtual space. And so this year, our tutoring has been 100% virtual. We are serving, because schools started virtually. Right. So let me back up. In the spring, we kept things going as best we could, and we discovered
piecing it together
ways to connect with parents. And that was kind of a silver lining. That's one of the silver linings, is that this brought us closer to parents, because in a normal year of operation, we're working in the school 7:30 to 3:30, coordinating with our campus liaison and our teachers. And we don't have direct access to the parents other than, sending them letters or reports. And so that was really the silver lining, was we were connecting with families, and that was exciting. We even had a mom sit in on the lessons because she wanted to improve her own reading skills. And so that was really very sweet. And she was so interested in what we were doing. This fall, because of some of the funding that came down because of the pandemic, all of the kids in kinder, first, and second had devices in all of our campuses that we were serving. And so we were able to pivot back to doing the one-to-one tutoring. We didn't focus at kinder just because, those kids were getting used to school and an iPad and, we weren't really sure. And the kids that had been in second grade were now in third. And so we pivoted to work with first, second, and third this current year. Next year we'll go back and we'll be picking up kinder again and be really focused there. So, some of the challenges have been what I'm sure you've heard, disruptions in scheduling because of community conditions. Things went back to school, then they went back home, then they went back to school. The winter storm really impacted our families and was devastating in terms of time away. So just those disruptions meant that kids weren't attending as consistently as they would during the school year. And so, we did serve fewer kids and absences were higher, but I want to say that that the amazing thing was that for many of our kids, that time with their tutor became even more important because they were just working with, the teacher in a little box. They were learning from home, or if they were at school, it was a different atmosphere this year with social distancing and plexiglass and masks. And so they logged in, whether they were at school or at home, they would log in with their tutor every day. And that person's eyeballs were on them. And we've had several teachers tell us that that relationship was made their life easier because they knew that child was getting something really critical for their emotional well-being, in addition to the support for reading. And we discovered you can tutor virtually and kids do make progress.
Absolutely.
A little more challenging, and I can't wait to get back to in-person because that's where we want to be. But we made it work. And I think the silver linings is we will try to keep those connections with parents going. We have a parent who watched her child be tutored all year and was so fascinated. She has applied to become a tutor with us this year. So she's going to become an AmeriCorps.
Paying it forward. I love it.
Yeah. And, we just have had some really sweet moments of connection. We've also learned that we can do some meetings, staff meetings, tutor meetings, trainings virtually that not only can make us a little more nimble next year rather than people driving from all over our sites to come together, but also, in the future, maybe we could do some virtual tutoring if that were necessary. And so we know whatever happens next year, if we hope not had to go back to virtual, then we are ready for that as well.
Yes. Whereas it was all sort of thrown at us in March, like, what? We do have a plan. And so I might need to name the elephant in the room. I think there's a lot of concern about where kids are going to be in the fall.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we are ready. We are ready to, hit the deck running. Our tutors typically work with about 9 or 10 kids a day. During COVID, it was, closer to 6 or 7. And so we're ready to ramp up again. And we are going to see as many kids as we can. We really hope to grow the program over the next several years because the need will be there. I think in one of our districts at the middle of the year, we picked up kinder, and every single kinder child we assessed was in need of the program. And that's, typically it's maybe more 50.
Wow.
So, it's the need is great. But I also know kids are resilient, and I really do believe that if we can make them feel safe and secure at school and that we're there for them, that we can get them back on track.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Kids are way more resilient than adults, let's just say. Okay, so now I would love to hear, how do you make all this happen? I mean, You talked about partners. Let's talk about all the ways you would love to get support from anyone watching, anyone sharing this, all
Sure.
of it. Tell it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there's some links going to be popped in. You have your communications director watching. I also have my virtual assistant watching. So all the information is going to be popping into the Facebook Live.
Yes, that's
So go
great.
ahead.
And we have a pretty good website at literacyfirst.org. I'm sure Sarah's putting that in the chat as well.
Yes.
So basically our program is funded, and we make this work happen through three sources. We have funding from our school partners. They have skin in the game. They have seen that this is valuable to them, and they help pay for some of it. And that's about a little less, that's about a third of our funding. We get funding from AmeriCorps. It's a federal partnership. It comes through a state office, and that's about a third. And then we raise a third through traditional philanthropy. So one way that people can support us is sort of the unfunded part that we have to raise every year is about $500 per child. If you've ever sought private tutoring for your own child, you know that that's a bargain to get one-to-one tutoring every day for as long as the child needs it. So that,
Bargain.
you know, donations to our program go directly to the work. We are, you know, really lean, and we make every dollar count. I do want to say for anyone interested in that we are a program located at the University of Texas, but we do not get funding from the University of Texas. We are a self-supporting outreach program located at the UT Dana Center, and 100% of every gift comes directly to us. UT doesn't skim anything, right? So
Nice.
I just feel like I need to say that because people see UT and they go, oh, why do they need money? Well, we are really a community-based program located here, and we get a great deal of infrastructure support from the university, but no funding. So certainly funding is a way people can help. The other way that people can help is, sorry, my phone was ringing.
Good grief, no worries.
Is that we are still hiring tutors for next year. And in particular, we are looking for bilingual tutors. We are a fully bilingual program. We can support the district goals for dual language and biliteracy. So students that start school who speak Spanish at home often receive, if they're struggling, they'll receive their language arts instruction in their first language, which it would be Spanish. And we really want those kids to retain Spanish and learn English. And so we are able to support kids in both languages. We are looking for, most of our English positions are full. We have a few, but if you are a bilingual Spanish speaker interested in supporting kids and having an amazing professional growth opportunity, then, whoops, there's my lights I told you was going to happen. Sorry about that.
That's great.
The beauty of light timers. So if you're looking for just an amazing professional growth opportunity and an opportunity to really give back to the community, you earn a monthly stipend. You would earn an education award of $3,000 to $4,500 that you could use for your own education. People receive health care while they're with us. So it's a paid opportunity. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's a monthly allowance, living allowance, and some great benefits. So we are looking for bilingual tutors, and there's a Become a Tutor link on our website. And then finally, we have two groups that work to support us. One is called Leaders for Literacy. Sarah is popping information on that. She would be the contact. And these are community members who really want to support the program, and they do things for our tutors, you know, book drives. They've done a lot of things to just help support the program through their efforts. They've got a speakers bureau, so they're helping particularly our young adults that are launching their careers. They're helping them with Life After AmeriCorps or Life After Literacy First. And then we have a young professionals group that does an event for us every year. So we're always looking for people to support that.
That was amazing. Wow. All those things are just incredible. So I don't feel like you mentioned like money. How do people send you
Oh.
money?
Oh, I thought I did when I talked about donating through it goes through the University of Texas, but it comes to us. And
Okay,
so
okay,
it's
okay,
a donate button on our website. Will
okay.
take them. The reason I mentioned UT is it'll take them to a
Thank
UT
you.
page, and I didn't want people to be confused. But
Okay,
yeah, donations, please. Yes, every
okay.
dollar,
Every dollar.
dollar matters to us. You know,
Okay. It's,
$5 gift is
I swear I'm listening. I
beautiful.
just must have missed that part. I'm always like someone about to walk through and make a lot of noise. Yes, absolutely. Wow. Okay. So yes, 100%. So going to their website makes a huge difference. Do you partner at all with Bookspring? Do you know
Yes, we do.
Bookspring?
Oh my gosh, we have been partners with Bookspring since we started in '94. And
Fabulous.
so, yes, we have a really exciting project with Bookspring, where we did a little study with them, and they gave our first and second graders in May 10 books to take home. And they measured their reading at the end of this using the district data, their reading levels at the end of the school year, and then again at the beginning of the school year. And I want to say like 80 or 90% of the kids actually grew in reading over the summer. They didn't have a summer slide. And so just 10 books, a home library that that the kids got to pick. So they had some choice involved in what I want to read this summer. And the tutors went through the books with them and got them excited about it. And so that's a partnership we would love to grow and have every tutor and every child have that opportunity every year with Bookspring. They also provide books to us during the year so that we can give them to kids when they graduate, and gently used books that we can make sure get into the hands of students.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love that so much. Wow. Is there anything I haven't asked you yet? Like, do you have a sweet story that just really like, I mean, I'm already a mess, right? But I love the story about the mom, like doing her, but give me something about a kid.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have stories
I know.
every week practically of students who, start the year, they're shy, they're kind of closed down. They maybe don't even really know the alphabet and the letter sounds, and they're feeling really overwhelmed. They already think that they're not as smart as their friend, because they're not learning to read like everyone else. And we just watch them blossom. And we have kids that say things like, Monday is my favorite day of the week because that's when I get to see you again, to their tutors. Or, just amazing growth things that happen with kids. And, every year we have kids go up more than a grade level because of this one-to-one work.
It's incredible. It's just life-giving. It's life-giving. Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, I think that the thing that happens over and over again is that the tutors see the child take on ownership for their reading. There comes a point where it's like, I can read, I can do this. And then you see that acceleration. And I think for the tutors, it's like when you watch a child become a reader, it's like the world opens up to them. And it's just the best feeling for the child and for we've had kids turn to us and just say, I can read. It's like,
oh my gosh.
They just sort of have that realization. So it's wonderful.
Wow.
It's great.
That's amazing. I like to call that the ripple effect. A child that walks around saying, I can read is probably reading to their siblings at home now, just,
or
oh shoot. There I go again. Oh, okay. I don't usually fall apart this much. This is just so beautiful. I am so grateful for your time and your passion as to where you guys are going with this. You're not content, to just baseline. You're like, how far can we go with this? And
Yeah.
it's clearly growing and making huge changes. And I'm just so excited to hear from you about it. This is great.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and a shout out to my staff and to educators everywhere, because they are
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And may we circle back next year and say, oh, what an amazing year this was.
Yes.
In school, in person, all that. And I would love to meet up with you again. That would be just amazing.
Absolutely.
To me.
Let's do it. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Well, you bet. And thank you to everyone for watching this, sharing, getting involved, learning what you learn every week at the Nonprofit Shout Out interview. I learned so much as well. And I'm really enjoying hearing about the connectedness of so many nonprofits that are all working together, serving. I mean, children are really where we need to be spending lots of our time, because, they are our future for sure. So the Nonprofit Shout Out here is every week at 11:15 Central, and 10:30 a.m. Central. And like and share, please. There's a whole YouTube channel as well you can follow, and binge watch 30 or 40 interviews by now. That is amazing to me. I'm having just the best time with this. So I will see you next week. I do this every week. Who am I talking to next week? Shoot, I mean to write this down. It's okay.
Someone great. It's going to be someone great.
It's going to be great. So, yeah, that's the way I do. Okay, I'm going to stop the live stream. Thank you so much for watching on Facebook. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Thank you. Bye-bye.